It's Week 13 of the 2022 season, and we have Amon-Ra St. Brown on center stage. There are a few better in the red zone as he comes in fourth in touchdown receptions. It's the Lions and the Jaguars. All that and more coming up next.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, they come in playing reasonably well. Losers the last time out, but winners of 4 of 5 before that. December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Detroit gets set to go on offense, and it will be the 7th-year pro out of Cal, Jared Goff, leading the attack in his 2nd season as a Lion.
I know teams always talk about having a 24-hour rule after a game, and eventually we end up rolling our eyes. But it works both ways, right? 24 hours if you win, 24 if you lose. But, boy, it's a fun 24 when you win the game and you win NFC Offensive Player of the Week, isn't it?
Absolutely. A first carry now for the BYU man. It's Jamal Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down. Goff now looks to throw. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Back to throw, Goff. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. Jacksonville's offense trots out here for the first time, and all eyes go right to number 16. Now in his 2nd season as the team's face of the franchise, Trevor Lawrence. Called a loss of 14 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd and long. Lawrence from his end zone. And that nearly an interception here on his opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Etienne. And he was able to shed 1 tackle, but could not get away from there. The gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Now a fair catch is called for and taken a few yards across midfield. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. And it's a fumble, and the Jags grab it. He's got room at the 30. Down to the 10. And he brings this one back. A fumble return for a Jacksonville score. And that's a linebacker showing he can move pretty good with a football in his hand.
That's not just a short shuttle now. He took it and went a pretty good distance, didn't he? Did you get the 40 time on that?
I didn't, but he got 6 points out of it. I know that in a great play for that defensive unit. Riley Patterson now for the extra point. And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Jags with the football to begin the second quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Goff now looking to throw. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get the field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line. They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Brought to the ground by the linebacker, Foye Oluokun. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. To throw is Goff. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Had to pass there. 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Jags going to go on offense now late in this first half. And just inside of a minute left, Charles. They got a pretty long field ahead of them. I'm curious to see how they play this. But you would think definitely enough time to at least try to get 3 out of this.
Yeah, you want to move with a nice sense of pace. You want to up the tempo a little bit, but you have to do it with some poise as well. You don't want to go so fast that you hurry yourself into mistakes. There's enough time to put points on the board if they do it right.
And even though they have the lead, you know that they would love to extend this lead before heading to the locker room. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. Throwing now, Lawrence on first down. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Jags are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Wait a second. They declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't understand how any time you lose possession of the ball, yet you turn down a penalty that would give you possession back. Let's make this simple. Anyone who plays the game, take the football. Always take the football.
On 1st and 10, Goff. Eluding the pressure right. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. So we're halftime over, no problem with us. We skip right to the third quarter and continue this midseason contest. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. Taking it about the 1. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 24. Lawrence will throw. He's got him in, complete. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Jaguars. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. But I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
So that challenge is a successful one. On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And a short gain here down to the 22. And now they're in the hurry-up. On 2nd and 9, Lawrence. This is caught. It's Kirk. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. So 3 plays already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Etienne is in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
Patterson now for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was capped off by a Travis Etienne touchdown run. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. Out of the gun, Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So 2nd and 10 now here in the third quarter from Detroit. Now it's Goff. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
It's a gain of 6. Makes it 3rd and 4.
From the gun on 3rd down, Goff. And that is incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And now out come the Jags. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. On 1st down, Lawrence. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Lawrence's throw caught here by Jones. Down inside the 10. Touchdown, Jaguars. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And the lead is now 24. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it culminates in a Jags touchdown. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
To try again after the sack. Goff. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter play. Back now at Ford Field. The offense on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 15. Here's Goff. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
ETN up the middle. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Lawrence now off the bootleg. That one complete downfield to Kirk. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead. And now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to, because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Throwing on third, Goff. And he lost the football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team.
And yet again, Goff is intercepted. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. And the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That burst good for 20 and a first down. Another tote for Etienne. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Straight ahead, Etienne. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So the rushing touchdowns continue to stack up, CD. That now 15 for him on the year.
And give him a ton of credit for staying healthy, being a smart runner, and it's showing just how important he's been to his team. He's got to be their MVP at this point in the season, and those votes may even turn into league MVP votes when it's all said and done.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that zero on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film section tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Throwing again on second down. Goff got his man. It's Williams. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
A gain of 10 yards.
Now Goff on first down. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Goff throwing again. That complete over the middle. He's got Manhurts, the tight end. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Goff on first down. And incomplete on the deep ball. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Goff. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss.
It's now 3rd down.
So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Jacksonville, the win gets them back to 500 at 6-6 on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Lions, the playoffs look to be out of reach now as they drop to 4-8. And they'll get a home date next week against the Minnesota Vikings.